Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Crystal. I go by CrochetCrys. I started learning how to crochet last year May, and I made this channel because I just want to help people also learn how to crochet. I do crochet vlogs, tutorials, really anything craft related. And today's video is going to be a tutorial on how to turn a picture into a graph. So if you've ever been scrolling on Pinterest or Google, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, and you see these pictures where it looks like there's little squares in them, these are called alpha patterns, graphgans, color charts, pixel grids. Really, they have a lot of names, but as long as you see squares, it is a form of tapestry crochet. So these pixelated graphs can be turned into real crochet pieces. For example, this sweater that I'm wearing, this is a sweater that I made on StitchFiddle. And also this tapestry that I made, which I'm turning into a cardigan. I also have a pattern out on this sweater if you want to make one yourself. I've gotten a lot of great feedback, so like I'm gonna just be wearing this every effing day in December. It's just so warm, you know? In order to make stuff like this, I use a site called StitchFiddle, and that is going to be the tutorial for today. So without further ado, let's get started. So once you've saved your picture to your laptop through your files, then you're gonna go to Google and type up StitchFiddle, and the first website that comes up will be it. So on this toggle here, it says create new chart, and then you're gonna press crochet. Then it gives you the type of different techniques that you could be using. You're gonna press crochet color work, and here it says, for example, graphgan, pixel crochet, picture. All of these different names are the same thing. It just means the squares, the mini squares that make up a picture. And you're gonna press crochet color work. If all of your yarns are the same brand, then you can press the brand and it'll give you colors from that specific brand. I usually don't press any brand just because I might use scrap yarn. So I press no preference. So then it gives you the option to either go from an empty chart or from a picture. And this is where you would press from picture. And here, it's gonna give you all your files, and you press the file that you've saved for this project. I have a picture here, Attack on Titan, of course. Now this is where everything gets really specific. So pay attention to this part if you weren't before. To the left of the chart, you're gonna press exact size, and then it'll give you the width and the height. The width is the number of chains that you will start off with. So how many stitches go from left to right, okay? If you want to make a sweater, you will first get your yarn and make a slip knot, and then chain the amount that you want for your sweater. Whatever number you get for this will be your width that you'll put into StitchFiddle. The height is the number of rows from 1 to whatever. So from bottom to top, how many rows you have included in this project. So for this scenario, let's pretend I am making a cardigan or sweater, right? So I'm gonna choose, let's say 110 for the width across, and then 120 for the height, because I like mine to be taller than wider. Now it looks okay, but I also do not need all of these colors. This is a black and white picture. So imagine trying to crochet with all of these colors. Like, it's going to be extremely hard to differentiate because they all look so similar, right? And it's black and white. So I'll go over here. I'm going to change 20 into 2. So I'm going to take away the 0 at the end. Now immediately the picture has changed and it looks awful. So how do we fix this? On the left side, there's also some options for the brightness and the contrast. You're gonna have to play around with the brightness and contrast, and you can see the picture getting clearer when I put the brightness down. Like, her features are kind of pointing out a little bit more, and then the contrast, when I put that up, it's even more clearer. So playing around with over here is really the most important part on how to make this picture look clear as possible, because there's only so much you can do when it's not 150 stitches. The complexity of the photo will also determine how difficult it will be to get the picture clear. For example, this YouTube logo is extremely clear, right? It's not complex, it's not detailed the way that the Mikasa one is. And so when I press the width and the height, I don't need to use big numbers. So I can use like 60 by 60, and it'll still be very clear that it's a YouTube logo. I probably can even do like 35 by 35, and look how like it's still pretty clear, right? And also change the colors to 2 and it's still clear. So also keep that in mind before you choose your chart. The higher the width and the height, the clearer the picture. And then the lower the width and height stitches, the less clear the picture is. So let's change 110 to 120, and you can see it's a lot more clear. Imagine now you're like, okay, I like where it's going a little bit. You know, I could do a little bit more, but this is an okay base to start out with. Then you can save your chart. You can press save over here or save over here, same thing. And now it has switched to the pixelated form. This is a 120 by 120 chart. And let's say you wanted to add a color. You can go over here and add a color. So imagine it's like, it gives you all the different options, you know, like what kind of colors you want. Because the scarf is red, so I'm gonna add red. And then you can press that new color and you can start to change and color in all the different pixels. So this is really, really cool. When you zoom out, you can kind of see the picture better. I do this so often when I'm crocheting, just to make sure that it looks, because this is what the panel is gonna end up looking like, you know? So try to do that. When you zoom back in, it goes back to pixelated form. And then you can just make small changes here and there. Like, I can color in her hair a bit like this, color in over here. You can do a lot with StitchFiddle. And then another thing you can do is switch out colors. So let's say you have black and you want to change it to pink. You can just go over here, press the new color that you want to change it to, apply, and it'll all change. So that's another option you can do. And then let's say you're great with the chart, you're fine, you want to start crocheting, you can press this little thing over here. It's called a progress tracker. It'll highlight every row from 1 to 120. And you can just highlight the row as you're crocheting along. And this really does save you so much time and effort, like trying to look at what row you're on. This is why I love StitchFiddle. And that is it. There is a version of this that is paid. And if you want to do that, it'll give you the option to have like a written pattern and stuff. But I just don't care about patterns and written patterns or whatever. If you're making, like, let's say a purse or a bag, it's obviously going to be a lot smaller, right? So the number that you chain will be maybe like 50, 60, maybe even like 45. And you should chain that amount first. Look at it, make sure you're okay with that size as being the width, and then put it into StitchFiddle. So that is how I gauge how big the stitches should be, how wide, how long. So in case all of that was still confusing and you still don't know how to decide on the stitch count, here I'm going to show you guys how I do it. So imagine I want to make a purse. I will get a purse that I already own, whether that's crocheted or not. And I'm going to get my crochet hook. This is a 3.5. The smaller the better, the tighter the stitches, the clearer the picture that looks. And then you can use your bag as a kind of base, foundation, blueprint kind of thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm counting, right? I'm keeping count. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I'm looking, this is still not enough. 21, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see 25. I feel like 25 is a good fit for this purse. Make sure you remember 25. If it's 25 across, it's gonna be shorter. Based on this purse, it's gonna be shorter. So it'll be probably like 20. So it'll be like 25 for the width, and then around 20 for the height, because that's how many stitches are left loose. So imagine I'm trying to do the YouTube logo on a purse, right? Which obviously you wouldn't do. But I know that it has to be 25 by 20. So I would make sure that the width, which is the chains that we did across, so like this, is 25. And then the height we decided on about 20. This can also change, like don't be so hard on yourself. And that is gonna be my purse, the whole purse. So imagine you don't want the whole purse to have this symbol. You would make sure that whatever your width is, your graph is gonna be smaller than that. Kind of similar to how I made this case. I hope that made sense. If you guys have any more questions, please don't be afraid to ask me in the comment section below and I will try to answer them. Hope this video was helpful. This is like the #1 most common question I get, next to how did I make this, which I have a tutorial on. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.